I have a little bit of time, then I need to go to bed. But
Yep.
I'm really interested in this because this clearly is an efficiency route that we need to take.
Oh yeah, no, totally. Okay. If you can go straight to my YouTube channel, do it. Otherwise, I'll give you a link here in a second.
Because the amount of time it'll take me to make all these cards in paint, it'll make me not want to do it.
Yep. Otherwise, I'll give you a link here in a second.
It's just too long.
Yep.
Okay, I've got it up.
Okay.
Your stream up right now. It's loading in HD.
It should just be
a little fuzzy.
Yeah, it's a little fuzzy.
Okay.
I'm not sure why.
Go ahead.
It's
Go
so
ahead.
fuzzy.
It's enough where I can read it.
Okay.
I've got it on my second monitor.
Anyway, okay. So if we wanted to add a line of text, so right now, okay, there is the mouse. All right, that is showing up. Does the mouse show up over?
This is how businesses work on the internet. Two people live in different areas. I just do everything through streaming platform.
Yeah, no, totally. Like, when I was teaching this shit online, I used a streaming program, and it would show the IDE that we were working in, kind of like this, and that they could see what I was doing and working on and selecting, and we could talk about what was going on. It did it
so cool.
in a lot more real time. The stream is going to be delayed by 15 seconds, which kind of sucks, but
yeah, that's
anyway.
okay.
So,
well, just use like TeamViewer.
Maybe
could. This I could do set up a lot faster.
So it says text lines, and then in the brackets 3. Do we need to add another, like just hit enter and insert a line, or how does this work?
So if we do that, so I'm starting to type out a new line of code to use a new line in the file. We already say read in all of the lines. Like I don't even care how many lines are in there, just read them all in and just go. So right now I'm doing an assumption that this text will have a fourth line to read in, or actually a fifth line, right?
A fifth line. I just typed the same thing you did. Text parenthesis to the right, lines, or
yeah, lines, because that,
and then bracket 4 bracket.
That we need to give it an X and Y position. I'm gonna throw it out at 20, 20, just so it's just at a random spot, and then close parenthesis and semicolon. If you stop and rerun the program, oh, mine's gonna crash because I didn't actually add a new line. Array out of bound. It's duplicating that. Interesting. Add a battery. Save.
We have to go back to the top and add another line?
Nope. Is mine gonna pick
Okay.
up? Oh, no. Let's go. The running process needs to change executables. Properties.
What program are you writing this in, Mike?
This is processing. It's Java.
You ever tried maybe having Chris do it in NetBeans so he has the library?
I have never worked in NetBeans.
It's Java, but it has the API library built in.
API library for what?
To help him actually write the code without having to Google every line. He can search up a library what he's looking for.
Okay, so it has autocomplete on. Okay, this program.
Oh, it doesn't have autocomplete. It has guides on how to do what you want to do. So you look it up in the library, and it tells you how to do that specific part.
Okay.
It gives you example coding.
Okay, this has a lot of example coding. This program has. We'll talk about it later.
So that's the kicker, is because you don't want to
I don't need to know the code. I just need to know the values I need to change.
Well, like you're going to need to know a little bit of the code, like because you need to customize what is drawing and where it's drawing.
Yeah, but if you tell me where all the values are, I can figure the rest out.
Okay, so I added a text line that said testing. So if you look at the stream, you'll see that the card should be written out there, and kind of on top of the mana battery, there's another line that says testing.
Yes, it's like covering it.
It's kind of covering it because they're drawing on top of each other because it shows the X and Y positions, 20, 20. So it went So the first line I wrote at 10 X position. This one I wrote at 20, so that's why the T is offset by 10 pixels from the M, right? And then it's also down 10 more pixels from where the M starts, and then it just writes out on top of it.
Yep.
And that just writes out the new line. And so that is how you can then write more lines. But if I go ahead and hit like left or right arrow, because I don't have that line on any of the other cards, text-wise, it should crash the program. Yep, and array out of bound index exception 4. Because now we are assuming that the program, that each of those text files has that line of text, and that we're just going to go ahead and try and draw it. And that's why that breaks.
Yeah. So how do we go back and add that fourth line in there so it runs correctly?
So each file needs to have that extra line.
Ah.
Right? And on top of that, if we were to save out, hit the button and say save all, the saving functionality doesn't draw line 4. It still is just drawing 0, 1, 2, and 3. So that line wouldn't even show up in what I save out. That was what I was talking about earlier, because I've duplicated code between two functions. So if I change one, I have to change the other to match if I want them both to resemble the same thing.
Yeah, makes sense.
But there's other things we can still do. So we were talking about text size and things like that. So before drawing like the last one, if I wanted the text to be smaller, I can do text size 12. I'm going to add text size of 12 before I do the card effect line. And so that line will be drawn in a smaller text font.
Yes.
And I'll showcase that on the properties. Every time I stop and restart the thing, I have to reset the stream from what when that process closes, that extra little window closes, it automatically reverts to the IDE. Thing. But you can see there that the card text effect is now much smaller. It's now in font 12.
Yes. Yeah.
So
that is cool. We're gonna have to fiddle the shit out of this, because I want to do some really basic stuff like the card name centered in the top middle, the purchase cost in the top left. Like I want to put all of the things in certain locations, and then add an icon, like some slightly more just tweaking of like where the information is on the card.
Yep, and a lot of that is just going to be modifying the draw card text.
Yeah.
But as I was talking about, where I want to change how the stuff is read in, I'm going to also be reading in different information than you are. So that's where it's going to be. That's why That's why I didn't just give you an executable and say, here, run this, because you're gonna have different information that needs to be drawn in a different fashion. So you're gonna need this source code and modify
it all from the beginning
and do it yourself. But we'll get you there.
Yeah, this is awesome. This will definitely make it a lot easier to make the cards and then print them at a faster speed.
Yeah, no, totally. And that's especially the thing that I was looking for was one button. I press A, and it saves all of them that it read in. So then it's just a connection between dumping out information, and that's why I want to have it in a format that I can basically get from Excel, dump it out from Excel. This then reads it in and writes all the files. So I can do all of the images or some of them. Like if I only need to update 3 or 4 cards, I can just say take those out, say redo those cards, and then since the program is doing this, all of the alignment is the same because they all write it at exactly the same pixel, and then write the stuff out in the same font, in the same size, at the same thing, so it's all very uniform.
Dude, this is gonna be fucking sick, man. This is gonna be fucking awesome. Okay, I have to go to bed because I got to work at 4. But I would really like to work on this